Galaxy A12, what is your name?
Erica Zacarias.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Brenda, that's one of Mr. Ortega's.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ortega, you're there, correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Miss Erica Carrias,
Zacarias.
did your attorney explain this paperwork to you?
Yes.
Do you have?
Sorry?
I think she froze. Do you have any questions for your attorney?
No, I don't at the
Have
moment.
any questions for your attorney? Your attorney?
No.
She said no.
Okay. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Let me make the screen brighter. All the way down? Never mind. I'll do it. I'll just do it. As we do. Okay. Oh.
Ms. Zacarias, I'm gonna mute you until your case is called, okay?
Okay.
Moto G Stylus 5G. I need to know what your name is, please.
All right.
Moto G Stylus 5G. I need to know your name. Okay. Moto G Stylus 5G. Are you there? I need to know your name so I can rename you on the screen. Moto G Stylus 5G. I need to know your name, please.
My name is Nora Garcia.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The 357th will call its court into session for today's docket, Wednesday, January 25th, 2022, starting with divorce hearing, 2019 DCL 7290, Shayna Cox and Sean Cox. Ms. Hernandez, Mr. Garza.
Good morning, Your Honor. Aaron Garcia here on behalf of Ms. Shauna Cox. I don't know if Attorney Trey Gaddis is on. However, we do have an agreed announcement to the court. Mr. Gaddis's client, Mr. Cox, is in the hospital. Unfortunately, he's come down with a very severe case of COVID, and it's a touch and go situation. So we've agreed to pass on today's hearing to allow his client some time to recuperate.
All right, contact our office when you want to reset it for, okay?
We will, Judge. Thank you. May we be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you, Judge.
2016 DCL 6620, Chamberlain, Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Mann.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dan Sanchez for Mrs. Chamberlain.
This is a frigid blast from the past.
Well, Judge, Mr. Mann's been trying to get the guy served that has that website, if you recall.
Yeah, I recall that there was efforts being made to remove some offensive stuff that Mr. Chamberlain had posted while his divorce was going on. So what's going on with that?
I don't know, Judge. Mr. Mann, I guess, would be able to update us on what he's been able to do.
Have you talked to Mr. Mann?
I haven't. in the last couple of days, but
Sanchez,
before-
you don't want to be seen on screen because you got some kind of Valentine stuff on you, right?
nah, it's because my camera on my phone doesn't work, and I was dropping my kids off. I hadn't made it to the office
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I apologize.
All right.
But
I don't see Mr. Mann coming in at this. We have Mr. Mann.
if you could just reschedule it, Judge, I'll get with him and see what we can do. Maybe 30, 45 days. I mean, there's no urgency on this.
Well, this is a hearing set pursuant to whom? I mean, I know that the last time.
Well, I
it was
set
a-
the hearing and I wanted you to hold Mr. Chamberlain in contempt, but because
Right.
they're making efforts to comply, we're willing to withhold asking for a finding at this time so that they can try to serve whoever they need to serve. I know he was making efforts, so I don't mind.
You wanna give him a call if he doesn't want to. I mean, he's not gonna show up because of that, or Mr. Chamberlain. I'm okay with that. Okay,
Okay, let me call him.
just call him and say if he's not gonna show up, and then that's a deal. Then let's move on. I'll call the next case. Thank you.
Okay.
2014 DCL 2374 Arturo Reyes Hernandez Picasso. Why is this back so quick?
Your Honor, you set us for a status, so you can talk to the person that would be
Oh
doing
yes,
the visitation.
yes, I recall that now. Do we have that person on screen?
Ms. Loperena is on screen. She's in mute.
Okay, got it.
Thank you. Ms. Loperena, how are you this morning?
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Listen, I wanted to talk to you about this the situation and get from you what your understanding of the situation is. You're freezing a little bit.
All I know, oh, I'm sorry. All I know is that Ms. Picasso needs someone to be there when she receives visits or she has visits with her daughter.
So that is the heart of that's the heart of the whole situation right there. And I understand you're willing to serve as that supervisor while she visits with her children.
Well, I will help find people. I cannot always be there, but I have another lady that can help with that also. I'm not sure if she signed in.
What are you related to Ms. Picasso?
No, we belong to the same church.
Okay.
So that's how I know her.
Okay.
And if I may, Your Honor,
Yes.
and I'm glad that Mr. Garza did log in. I was going to request if the court could, instead of having Saturday and Sunday visitation, if we can just have a Saturday 4-hour visitation. That way it will not, the onus on the people that will be supervising will be less. It won't
Yeah.
change their schedules as much.
Mr. Garza?
And I talked to Ms. Picasso and I talked to, and I think that would work better on our side.
Mr. Garza and Ms. Cortez?
Your Honor, Mr. Reyes would not object. He wants his daughter to have a good relationship with the mother, but we are having a problem with travel interfering with his work. Because she is not financially well situated, he's been having to do a lot of the travel. He works at SpaceX way out on Boca Chica.
Right.
And he's supporting this child right now and doing everything by himself. He cannot miss work. It's causing him problems. So I would like to request something that makes it easier for him. Maybe she can come pick up the child at his house, something to that effect, because he's having trouble with his work. He doesn't want to lose that job. It's a good job, and he just doesn't want to have too many absences or tardies or anything like that.
Well,
Yeah, and Your Honor, I did speak to my client. If levantarlo por su trabajo y lo podía llevar a su casa, that I think she can pick her up and drop her off. Your Honor, we don't have an interpreter. I was going to ask Ms. Picasso that on the record.
Our interpreter's running late.
If I can ask her in Spanish, Your Honor. I think Trey and
Okay,
yourself. we
hold
know
on a
Spanish.
second, hold on a second. Let me attend to something. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Is Mrs. Ruca not having a good?
I think somebody walked in. That's fine.
Oh. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Garza, on your first case on Mr. Cox, the judges said for y'all to reach out, I guess, when your client either gets to the
Yeah,
hospital or, yeah.
Apparently he's on a ventilator. He hasn't answered our call, so I'm hoping he survives, but he's been not
Yes.
doing well with COVID.
It's sad.
Cindy, real quick, I'm just gonna say something to the attorneys. Guys, don't forget today's Annabelle's memorial service. Okay, 2 p.m. The Zoom information, you can get that through CCBA, or if you want, I will text it to you. But
It'll
that
be on
is,
Zoom?
yeah, the family's having a private one, but they're going to Zoom it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
You're muted, Judge.
Mr. Alejandro still late?
He's running
Well,
late.
if it's okay with you, Mr. Izaguirre, proceed. I mean, you go ahead and ask her in Spanish or whatever.
Miss Picasso.
Tell her to unmute herself.
Sí, escucho. Gracias.
Sí es posible. Usted dijo que sí es posible que usted recoge y entregue a la niña.
Sí, de hecho antes nos topábamos en Rancho Viejo. Entonces, si él la puede dejar ahí o si a él se le hace muy tarde por su trabajo, yo la puedo levantar en su casa.
Okay. Your Honor, she stated that if because of her work, of his work, she's willing to go pick her up at his house.
Okay. Well, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you have any problem with that?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay.
As long as she's punctual, I'm perfectly fine with it.
That's what I'll emphasize that, because it would be 6 of one, half dozen of the other if she's not punctual, because still be robbing you of time and they're making you late. So I understand that. I will emphasize that. Anything else? Anything else? All right.
Not our side, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, señora Picasso.
Sí.
Voy a aprobar modificaciones. I'm going to modify las restricciones que están en lugar ahorita, the restrictions that are in place, a lo siguiente. Usted va a tener la responsabilidad de levantar y regresar a la criatura a la casa del señor Hernández al debido tiempo. El horario también se va a cambiar. Mejor de ser los 2 horas en el sábado, 2 horas el domingo, se va a hacer 4 horas el sábado. Did I get that right, counsel?
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So I'm modifying the conditions of temporary orders to include a modification that Ms. Picasso be allowed to pick up and return the children back to Mr. Hernandez's home at the appointed time of visitation, which has been also modified to reflect that the hours of visitation have changed. Instead of 2 hours Saturday, 2 hours Sunday, it'll now be 4 hours total on Saturday. Anything else, counsel?
Not from our end, Your Honor. I don't know if Mr. Garza has any.
Señora Picasso,
Sí, le escucho.
quiero explicarle.
Ujú,
Es necesario y importante, es sumamente importante que usted haga todo lo posible para mantener el horario que va a levantar a los niños. En otras palabras, que esté a tiempo, que no vaya a tarde, porque si no se va a hacer el mismo problema que estamos tratando de evitar, que se perjudique el señor Hernández en su empleo, ya sea llegando tarde o no, o lo que sea. So, hágame el favor y tenga eso en mente cuando va a visitar, que sea puntual al horario que va a levantar a los niños, ¿ok?
Sí, señor juez, solo quería ver si podía ser después de las 12:30, porque mi otro hijo, él va a clases los sábados de 8 a 12, ¿verdad? Porque se está preparando para el examen STAR.
Did you all talk about the hours of the 4 hours starting when?
We did not, Your Honor.
But she wants it after 12.
If that's okay with Mr. Reyes.
Hernandez, Mr. Reyes. Is there an inconvenience if we do it after 12 so that her son will return with a car and all that?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay. ¿A qué horas, mi señora Picasso?
Podría ser de 1 y 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, que
A
serían
la
las 4
una, a
horas.
la 1 está bien. A la 1 la esperan ahí en la casa a levantar a los niños, ¿ok?
Sí.
Okay. Anything else?
That's
Your
it,
Honor,
Your
hold
Yes,
on, Your Honor.
sorry, Ms. Cortez.
Your Honor, just real quick, just to make sure that Mr. Aguirre reminds his client that picking up and dropping off, supervisor needs to be there at all times.
Yes.
Con
She understands.
Con
what we-
supervisor, señora Picasso. Con supervisor por mientras, ¿ok?
Sí.
Gracias. All right.
Judge, do we set it for any other hearings?
Well, I don't, this is a time that's difficult to capture because of what's going on, you know? I mean, I'm not sure when this counseling and all that situation will be ready where we can take this bull by the horns and resolve it once and for all.
Your Honor, may I
What's
suggest
that?
90
What's
days
that?
out?
How? How many?
May I suggest 90 days out to see how
Mr.
if
Mr.
something
Garza?
else happens?
Mr. Garza?
I have no objection, Judge. And obviously, Ms. Cortez feels that there needs to be more time, but the child needs to increase time with mom. Ms. Cortez can make that recommendation. We'll follow her recommendation.
All right, well, let's do that. 90 days, and if there's anything that's urgent that comes up with it during those 90 days, will come back to me, and we'll set it for you. All right?
Thank you.
Yes,
Your Honor.
Your
May
Honor.
we be excused?
I'll set it for April 21st.
April
Thank you.
21st. Yes, Ms. Cortez.
No, I just, again, don't forget 2 p.m. today for Annabelle. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
On my
Thank you.
first case, I'm sorry I was a little bit late. My rooster choked and died last night. But
Are you saying that I have provided defective roosters? I've unleashed to the population at large, Mr. Garza?
no, my client in that case had been hospitalized with COVID, and we still haven't heard from him. So I'm hoping he's out of the hospital. But he was on a ventilator, and Ms. Erin Garcia was aware of it. So we're asking.
Oh, she related the situation to us and asking it to be passed to another appropriate time and depending on Mr. Cox's condition. Hopefully he'll pull through.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right,
Mr. Mann, Judge.
Mr. Mann.
Good morning, Your Honor. I didn't have a rooster die, but I did have a train in my way for about 15 minutes. I apologize for logging in late myself.
Was it a train full of roosters, Mr. Mann?
Dead roosters, yeah. It looked like oil. It looked like cottonseed oil to me, but maybe it was
But that ain't coming from my ranch because I provide nothing but live and bubbly roosters to do the
yeah.
job.
No. These had to have been Willacy County roosters, I think.
All right. Well, we touched bases with Mr. Sanchez this morning, Mr. Mann, and I asked him to call you because I'm not sure why we're revisiting this. I know that the last standing order was your client, Mr. Chamberlain, was to make whatever efforts he could to try to get this post removed from Facebook or wherever he posted it. And I know Mr. Sanchez represented your client, and you have been making the effort to try to do that, get somewhere. Where are you on that effort?
That is right, Your Honor. This the owner of this website is the issue, and of course, as the court's aware, the court signed an order for him to take it down. We've served the fellow out in California via certified mail, and it's a corporation and limited partnership and all this. And this guy, Lionel Richie's son, is the principal, so that's the one we've gone to. The site is dormant, but every so often when I pull up a Google, I could still find it. So I'm not sure if it's just something that's naturally coming down off the site, or if they need to take some more affirmative action. I'm not that sophisticated with how these sites are, but of course, we were trying to get him more personally served if we could find him. We tried to contact him via Facebook as well. Of course, no response. So that's where we're at. We're still trying. We have sent out quite a few certifies of correspondence and all of that, and I'm not sure if it's been effective or not on the actual site.
Well, maybe we should put pressure on the person that's closest to him, right? Maybe we should subpoena Lionel Richie to my court.
I agree.
Make sure that we move a piano in there just by happenstance. Oh, we didn't know we had a piano in here.
And of course, just since he lives in California, and the way they've had the lockdown in California over the last year and a half, and we've been trying to do this. I think that may have hurt our chances to actually get him personally served. But
Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you hear all of that?
I sure did, Judge. Seems like they're working at it, so if we could
set it for about 6 months.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months, whatever. And well, I'll keep in touch with Mr. Mann.
Okay.
If we get something resolved sooner, we can report back to the court.
Okay, why don't I set it for June, and that way you guys can, if something happens and we need to get back to revisit the issue, just ask for a setting and we'll set you up, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Let's set it for June 29.
June 29.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Sorry
That's all
for
we have. May we be excused?
No problem. Hey, and I'll take a different route, Mr. Mann, because no rooster loving individual should ever be submitted to witnessing a train load full of roosters.
There's only 2 routes, and the train was on both of them.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Mr. Masso. 2021 DCR 4901, State of Texas, Ruben Martinez.
Good morning, Your Honor. We're set for a plea. We're ready. My client is here.
Are the plea papers gone through, Ms. Ramirez? Okay. And Mr. Ortega is set for a plea. Is that 3 pleas or 2 pleas and 1 is disposed of? Or I have 3.
3.
Involving Erica Colleen Zacayaras and Izaguirre twice.
No, this is Ruben Martinez.
No, I know you. I'm talking about Mr.
Oh.
Ortega's client.
Oh.
Yes, Judge.
All
That's
right.
correct, Judge.
All right, so then I'll let Ms. Ramirez take care of all those plea preliminaries, and then I'll come back and we'll take all those pleas together, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Ruben Martinez,
Here.
did your attorney explain this paperwork to you?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for your attorney?
No, ma'am.
And is this your signature?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sure, yeah.
Mr. Izaguirre, are you on? Juan Daniel Izaguirre, are you on? Ms. Ortega, is your client going to come on?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, is Mr. Aguirre going to come on? I've been calling his name and he doesn't. Sure.
He's in the lobby of my office. Do you want me to bring him in here? Is he?
Yeah, so that Brenda can verify the paperwork, please.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat here. I should be asking a few questions about your plea papers.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Juan Daniel Izaguirre?
Yes, that's me.
Yes. Did your attorney explain this paperwork to you?
Yes.
For cases 2021 DCR 1547 and 2021 DCR 2136?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your signature?
Yes.
Yes. And is this your signature?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Is he going first? You want him to stay or? Let's see what they say there.
Ms. Ortega, he usually does them all at once.
Oh, he puts them all in a row and does them all at once? Okay.
Yeah, yes.
All right, be a few minutes.
I'm sorry?
It's gonna be a few minutes?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll put him out in my lobby then if it's gonna be a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, come on over to the lobby, Mr. Aguirre. When she calls it, I'll bring you back in.
Okay.
Julieta?
Yes, this is Julieta.
Julieta, all of our defendants speak English. So you can go to another court if you need to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
After lunch. Después de lunch, more good. Morning, what happened? What I do? Well, you're gonna change the toilet, but we're gonna do it after lunch. So I'll keep it right in a second. I only have a couple of minutes. Whenever you're ready. Just chill, let us know. Okay. Thank you. For me, to take them home. Thank you. Christmas gift.
Mr. Ortega, you want to go ahead and bring your client in?
Okay.
Mr. Martinez, Ms. Zacarias, I need y'all to raise your right hands and unmute yourselves. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes.
Mr. Martinez? Thank you. I'm going to need you to speak up because I can barely hear you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Isaguirre, can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I'm sorry?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Y'all can put your hands down.
Counsel for Isaguirre,
Yes, Judge.
what is Mr. Isaguirre pleading guilty to on 2021 DCR 2136?
Judge, if I may, he's pleading to count 2. We're dismissing count 1.
Charging him with what?
He's pleading to the possession of controlled substance, and count 1 is the evading.
Okay, so he's pleading to count 1, which is the evading.
No, he's pleading to count.
Mr. Janice, I believe on that, you're dismissing count 2, possession of controlled substance, and he's pleading guilty to evading arrest.
My notes say we'll dismiss evading and plead at POCS and 1121.
Well, who did you cut these deals with, Mr. Ortega?
Okay, Judge, I've got the plea papers here that have been signed, and the reason we were pleading on the evading arrest is the passenger threw the cocaine out the window, and my client was a driver. And the plea agreement is 12 months, county jail, suspended and probated for 24 months, state to dismiss count 2.
Well, then that's fine. Then we could do that.
Right.
But the plea papers, I believe, have a contradiction in them that might need to be corrected. That I reviewed this morning.
Okay, all right.
Well, and what
I don't know
about
if you caught that.
what about 2021 DCR 1547?
He's pleading guilty to possession of controlled substance, Judge, less than 1 gram.
That is correct.
All right. What about Ms. Zacarias?
In that case, Judge,
Yes, sir.
is pleading guilty to let's see, possession of controlled substance, Judge. And we have an agreement in the case for a
I don't want to hear that. I just want to know what they're pleading guilty to for right now, okay?
okay, Judge, possession of controlled substance.
All right. What about Mr. Martinez?
Judge, Mr. Martinez is pleading to an evading with a motor vehicle.
All right. This is cause number 2021 DCR 2136 and cause number 2021 DCR 1547, both of them state of Texas versus Juan Daniel Izaguirre. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Judge, if I may real quick, I just need to clarify something on the record. The plea with Mr. Izaguirre on 2021 DCR 2136, I don't believe we can do that plea. And I think I was right reading my note. The evading arrest is a third-degree felony, so we can't make that into a 1244A. Let me just check one more time.
Mr. Ortega?
Yeah, I don't think that was the agreement. I don't have that in my plea papers.
Mr. Ortega?
Yes, Judge.
Well, what do you want to do here, Mr. Ortega? There's
We'll plead guilty to the evading arrest, Judge. If it means we have a larger period of probation, that's fine, Judge.
Did you hear
that?
Yeah.
It's a small evading, Judge. I don't know if the court would be inclined to take 2 years probated for 3.
That's fine with us, Judge.
And my apologies for the confusion, Judge.
Now, there is a big confusion here, so, all right. But I need to know what he's pleading guilty to so that I can inform him of what his charges are, and so I can get affirmation on the record that he is in fact doing that and all those other things that come with it. So that's why I'm asking. I'm not asking what's the punishment recommendation. I'm not asking for a situation. I want to know what is he pleading guilty to so I can admonish him appropriately. That's all I'm asking.
He's pleading guilty to evading arrest with a motor vehicle, Judge.
All right. Okay. Is Juan Daniel Izaguirre your true and correct name, sir, in both cases?
Yes.
Okay. And this is also the subject versus Erica Colleen Zacarias.
Yes.
2021 DCR 1540. Is that your true and correct name?
Erica Colleen Zacarias, yes.
Okay. And this is also state of Texas versus Ruben Martinez in 2021 DCR 901. Is that your true and correct name, Mr. Martinez? What? Okay. All right, all of you are in front of me because your attorneys tell me you wish to enter pleas of guilty in certain charges. In your case, in cause number 2021 DCR 2136, Mr. Izaguirre, do you understand that in that case you're pleading guilty to count 1 of the indictment, which charges you with evading arrest, which is a third-degree felony violation, which calls for confinement in prison for a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2. In addition, I can oppose a fine not to exceed $10,000. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And in cause number 2021 DCR 1547, Mr. Izaguirre, you are pleading guilty to possession of a controlled substance, when in that case, it's a state jail felony punishable as a Class A misdemeanor under Penal Code Section 1244A, which calls for confinement in a county jail for a term of up to 1 year. In addition, I can impose a fine not to exceed $4,000. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Are you pleading guilty to this respective charges in this respective case numbers because you're in fact, freely and voluntarily? Are you doing this freely and voluntarily, pleading guilty to those 2 cases, Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Zacarias, do you understand that you're pleading guilty to possession of a controlled substance, which in your case is also punishable by a violation of a state jail felony punishable by confinement in the county jail for a term of up to 1 year. In addition, I can impose a fine not to exceed $4,000. Are you aware of that?
Yes, but I was under the impression we were going to do a different amount of time for jail time.
Well, that's what your attorney's telling me, so you need to ask him right now. He's on the screen.
All right.
Ortega, we have
Mr.
another
Ortega?
question with Zacarias.
Go ahead, Judge. I missed the first part of your question to her. What was that again?
Oh, I was explaining to her the range of punishment as a 1244B, which is county jail 1 year, and in addition, I can impose a fine $4,000. And she said she was under the impression it was a different sentence or whatever. So,
yes, Ms. Zacarias, he's giving you the range of punishment, not your plea agreement. Okay?
Okay, okay.
It's
Sorry,
just
I didn't
special
know.
punishment.
All right.
Go ahead, Judge.
That's what you potentially can be exposed to, not that that's what you're gonna get. I have to read you what the statute says. What are you exposed to when you violate this crime, when you violate this provision, when you commit this crime?
Okay.
What are you looking at? Okay?
Okay, because I've never gotten this big of a charge before.
Well, I
Sorry.
understand that. Now, well, are you clear now?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Now, are you doing this freely and voluntarily, Ms. Zacharias? Pleading guilty?
Yes.
To possession of- Okay. How about you, Mr. Martinez? You're pleading guilty to evading arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that's a violation of a third-degree felony which calls for confinement in prison for a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2. I can impose a fine not to exceed $10,000. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you doing it freely and voluntarily, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Understanding, is it necessary to rearrange Mr. Zaguirre or Ms. Zacharias, Mr. Ortega?
Oh, Judge.
Is it necessary to rearrange Mr. Martinez, Mr. Mazo?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Zaguirre, understanding what the range of punishment is and cause number 2021 DCR 2136, charging you with evading arrest, understanding what the range of punishment, and I'll ask you in that case, what is your plea to count 1, charging you with evading arrest? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Understanding what the range of punishment is and understanding what the crime is, possession of a controlled substance in cause number 2021 DCR 1547. What is your plea to the charges of possession of a controlled substance, state jail felony punishable as a class A misdemeanor? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty again, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Zacharias, understanding what crime you're pleading guilty to, possession of a controlled substance, understanding what the range of punishment is, and now asking cause number 2021 DCR 1540, what is your plea to charges of possession of a controlled substance, state jail felony reduced
Guilty.
to class A
Guilty,
misdemeanor under penal code section 1244? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And Mr. Martinez, understanding what the range of punishment is and what the crime you're pleading guilty to, evading arrest, which is a violation of a third-degree felony. I'm now asking cause number 2021 DCR 901, what is your plea to the charges of evading arrest? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. Guilty, sir.
All right. Are all 3 of you citizens of the United States, Mr. Zaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Zacharias?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Are all 3 of you pleading guilty to the respective charges that I've read because you're in fact guilty and for no other reason, Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
In both cases, Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes.
All right. How about you, Ms. Zacharias?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Are any of you pleading guilty out of any persuasion of fear, hope of pardon, force, threats, or promises of any kind, Mr. Martinez? Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, can you repeat the question?
Yes. Are any of you pleading guilty out of any persuasion of fear, hope of pardon, force, threats, or promises of any kind, Mr. Izaguirre?
No, Your Honor.
In both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Zacharias?
No, sir.
Mr. Martinez?
No.
Has any of you ever been in a mental hospital or treated by a doctor for any mental disorders, Mr. Izaguirre?
No, Your Honor.
In both cases, sir?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Zacharias?
For the case itself or in general, like if
No,
ever.
listen to the question. Have you ever been under treatment for any mental disorders or
Treated by a doctor.
or treated by a doctor for any, have you ever been in a mental hospital or treated by a doctor for any mental disorders?
I did go to a hospital in Edinburgh because I wanted to kill myself a long time ago, but I don't know if that's considered the same as what you're talking about.
Okay. Are you currently under any psychiatric or psychological treatment?
Yes, I do go to Tropical for bipolar, severe depression, and anxiety.
And are you currently seeing Tropical, Texas?
Yes, I actually have an appointment on the 28th with Dr. Dina Dennis.
All right. As a result of that treatment, have you been prescribed any medication?
Yes, sir.
And when the medication is for your bipolar?
And anxiety, both of them.
Did you take that medication today?
No, I didn't take it today.
All right. Is there anything that we have said and spoken about that you did not understand at all?
No, I understand what's going on.
Do you understand the proceedings here today? Do you understand what's going on here today?
Yeah, like I'm basically being, this is just a hearing for the court to see if I'm going to be able to get the plea bargain and stuff like that, right?
No, you're pleading guilty to a crime today.
Okay, and today, like if.
And that's another
That's
matter,
right.
yeah. Whether I go along with the recommended sentence, that's a different thing. But you're pleading guilty to a crime today. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I mean, I am pleading guilty.
Okay. All right. How about you, Mr. Martinez? You okay?
Guilty.
Have you ever been in a mental hospital treated by a doctor for any mental disorder?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Ortega, you find Mr. Aguirre in both cases competent and able to assist in any defense you may have?
Yes, Judge.
How about Ms. Acarayas?
She is, Judge.
All right. How about you, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe he's competent and he was able to assist me in his defense.
All right. Mr. Ortega.
Yes, Judge.
We need to correct these plea papers, and we also need to correct them to tell me what is it that you're going to be writing down as part of the plea agreement. That the plea agreement consists of recommendation of 2 years and suspended for 3, or what?
2 years probated for 3, Judge.
Mr. Izaguirre, are you aware of that?
Yes, Judge.
In the first case, in 2021 DCR 2136, you had a plea agreement that called for 12 months in county jail, suspended for 2 years before this, but that has been changed. Were you aware of that?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Your Honor.
You're in agreement with that change?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Mr. Izaguirre, and in cause number, you also have a plea agreement which calls for leave (1 year in county jail, suspended for 1 year under 1244A. Do you understand, Mr. Izaguirre, that the decision of whether to follow these recommendations, the new one in cause number 21 DCR 2136, and one involving 2 years, probated for 3, the decision of whether to go along with that and accept that is totally only up to me. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. How about you, Ms. Zacarias? Do you understand? Do you understand that whatever plea agreement you have, which in this case is 90 days in county jail, credit for time served under 1244B, that's a recommended sentence that your attorney and the prosecutor are making to me. I may not go along with it. Do you understand that?
Yeah, so it's basically up to your decision.
Right. And so if I decide not to, okay. Now, how about you, Mr. Martinez? You have a recommended sentence, I believe. 3 years deferred adjudication. Do you understand that the decision whether to go along with that probated sentence is totally only up to me? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I will tell all 3 of you that if I, for some reason, do not agree with the recommended sentence, as you have heard it right now, if I don't go along with it, I will allow you an opportunity to withdraw, take back the plea of guilty you just gave me earlier this morning. You understand that, Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about you, Ms. Zacharias?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
The flip side of that coin is if I accept it and I sentence you to what we just talked about, the specific time that we're referring to in each one of your cases, if I go along with that, you may not appeal your case without the court's permission, except in your case, Mr. Seguirre, except for any pre-trial motions that Mr. Ortega may have filed on your behalf prior to today, and in your case, Ms. Zacharias, that Mr. Ortega may have filed prior to today. Do you understand that, Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Judge.
In both cases, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
How about you, Ms. Zacharias?
Can you explain it to me one more time, what you said?
I said, Pias, you know, I say the flip side of that coin, you know, a coin has two sides, right? I just read you one about that if I don't accept it, I'll allow you an opportunity to take back your plea of guilty you just gave me, right? If I don't take it, if I don't accept it. The flip side of that is if I accept it, if I go along with what's been stated, the recommended sentence, you may not appeal your case without the court's permission, except as to any pretrial motions that your attorney, Mr. Ortega, may have filed prior to today. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes.
All right. How about you, Mr. Martinez? Do you understand that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'm going to find is to each one of you, Mr. Izaguirre, in both cases, Ms. Zacharias and Mr. Martinez, that your plea of guilt are freely and voluntarily made, and you're all three competent to stand trial. I ask the state to produce the evidence to substantiate the plea instead of Juan Daniel Izaguirre in cause number 2021 DCR 2136.
Judge, at this time, state offers exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence.
No objection.
To be admitted, and also in cause number 2021 DCR 1547.
Judge, at this time, state offers exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence.
No objection.
They'll be admitted, and also ask the state produce evidence to support the plea in state of Texas versus Erica Kaleng Zacharias in cause number 2021 DCR 1540. I'm sorry.
Judge, at this time, state offers exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence.
No objection.
They'll be admitted, and also have the state to produce evidence to substantiate the plea in state of Texas versus Ruben Martinez.
Judge, at this time, state offers exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence.
No objections.
They'll be admitted. Mr. Izaguirre.
Yes, Your Honor.
And everybody, I mean, Zacharias and Mr. Martinez, look at the screen. I have a set of documents here. And in your case, Mr. Izaguirre, I have two sets of documents because you have two cases. And in your case, Mr. Zacharias, only one set, this set of documents. And Mr. Martinez, likewise, one set, this set of documents that pertain. All this set of documents individually pertains to your cases that we're talking about this morning. And as you have all heard, each one of these plea packets, as they're called, consists of 3 exhibits. I want to talk about exhibit number 1 with all 3 of you. Exhibit number 1 in cause number 2021 DCR 2136 is Mr. Izaguirre, is a 9-page document, and on page 7 of that document, there's a signature line. Is that in fact your signature, Mr. Izaguirre, in that case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right. You also have one in cause number 2021 DCR 1547, and that exhibit number 1 consists of nine pages also. And on page 7, there's a signature line, and there's a signature already on there. Is that in fact your signature, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And with you, Ms. Zacharias, your plea packet 3 exhibits. Exhibit number 1 consists of 9 pages also, and on page 7, there's a signature line. Is this your signature, in fact?
Yes, sir.
All righty. And likewise with you, Mr. Martinez, your plea packet consists of 3 exhibits. Exhibit number 1 is a 9-page document, and there's a signature line on page 7 of exhibit number 1. Is this in fact your signature, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna ask each one of you, when you sign these documents, did each one of you understand, in your case, Mr. Aguirre, in both cases, did you understand that you were waiving all your constitutional rights to a jury trial, your right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, and your right to confront your accusers in open court? Or are you aware that by signing this document, you were waiving those constitutional rights? Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
Both cases, sir.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Ms. Zacharias?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, sir.
All right. With respects to exhibits 2 and 3, not 1. We just talked about 1, about the signature. Let's go to 2 and 3. We attach to each one of your respective plea packets. In your case, Mr. Zaire, to both plea packets. In both cases, you're all telling me that with respects to exhibit 2 and 3 attached to those plea packets, that you agree with the state, with the prosecutor, that those exhibits are true and correct documents of the original arrest reports, incident reports, lab reports that were generated as a result of your respective arrests, the reason you're pleading guilty to me this morning. Is that in fact your agreement, stipulated agreement, Mr. Izaguirre?
Yes, Your Honor.
In both cases, sir.
Yes.
Is that your agreement, Ms. Zacharias?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Martinez?
Yes, sir.
All right. In that case, I'm going to find that as to each one of you, Mr. Izaguirre, in both cases, you have voluntarily and intelligently waived your constitutional statutory rights. The evidence offered by the state does substantiate your plea of guilt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes to what? What? I didn't ask a question. Are you an automatic yes there, Mr. Izaguirre? Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, I was thought it was a question, the last one. Can you please mention that again?
No, it was not a question. It was a finding that I was making, that you have voluntarily and intelligently waived your constitutional and statutory rights. Okay?
Hmm?
What is Mr. Izaguirre's background?
Judge, I see no history. He just picked up these 3 offenses, and as part of, then that's just the plea agreement we have.
So this is his first transgression here?
It's correct.
So tell me about the evading arrest he pled guilty to.
Let's see, Judge.
I heard something about it was minimal, or it wasn't like an extreme evading arrest. It was minimal, or somebody said something either by you or by Mr. Martinez, one of the two.
So yeah, it's a short evading, Judge. We wouldn't be opposed if the court wanted to modify 2 years probated for 3, maybe to 3 years deferred. The police were watching this individual. He went into a drug house and he gets in the car. They pull him over for probable cause, defective tail light. They attempt to pull him over. He would not stop. Another occupant throws something out the window as the defendant is evading arrest. They recovered the thrown object, 2 baggies of cocaine. Defendant turned down an alley and then was stopped. And the drugs were small.
So where does the possession of a controlled substance come in on him?
We'll judge the law of parties. It'd be, I guess, the equivalent if you and I were to order a pizza and the pizza were in front of us, and doesn't matter who purchased the pizza, the mere presence alone, custody, care, control, that it's in the car, you're knowingly let a passenger in, and that is why, Judge, on this case, the plea agreement is we're dismissing the POCS. In another case,
you are conjuring up. You're conjuring up my criminal law class in law school. So, from what I recall, and that might have been back when the dinosaurs were still walking, you know, but I know one thing for a fact, that you have to prove that he intentionally and knowingly, even in constructive possession as you claim. That is one mens rea that you have to prove, number one. Number two, the law of constructive possession, if I remember in criminal law, was that it wasn't just a mere fact that a passenger had contraband while the driver didn't have it, and that you could charge the driver with constructive possession because the passenger had it. I think you have to prove a lot more than that.
Yes, Judge, and I agree, and that's why we're dismissing this count, because in the scheme of things,
I think that the appropriate thing would be for us to do that, evading the arrest and dismissing this one.
That is correct, Judge, and that's what we did here. I would argue, you know, that he actually had possession because he was seen going.
That's real thin. I mean, real thin. And if this is your evidence, then I'm going to find him not guilty of that.
Yes, that's why he's pleading on the other case, 1547, where they go and on the driver's seat, the white powdery substance bag was there, so it's directly in his care, custody, and control.
So which one we were talking about? The other one where the evading arrest?
The evading arrest one is where we're dismissing the POCS charge.
Okay. And then so when did this one occur? At the same time? Was out of the same incident?
So the cocaine where we're dismissing it is out of the same incident of the evading. And then there's another incident in 1547 where gets pulled over for a traffic stop, and the cocaine is found right on the driver's seat, right before he's making a lot of furtive movements. So that's why we are, you know, doing what we think is just and following the court's logic and dismissing.
The court's straight now. I thought that we were talking about one incident, but we're talking about two separate incidents.
That is correct, Judge.
One that is married to the evading arrest, the other one and another date and another incident.
That is correct.
Around the same drug house?
That I would have to dig a little deeper into, Your Honor, but I'm just.
You pled guilty, Mr. It was in the same drug house?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
So tell me what's going on with you, Mr. Seguirre, from not really being involved in trouble to cocaine possession and evading arrest. What's going on? Why all of a sudden? How old are you, sir?
54 years old, Your Honor.
Why suddenly at 54 have you decided that this is the way to go? Finish out your life?
You know, made mistakes. You know, I regret that.
Well, Mr. Seguirre, with all due respect to you, it's not a mistake. A mistake is when you're young, when you don't have your wisdom, your brain hasn't developed. When you're young, teenager, 20s, that's a mistake. But when you're as mature as you are, your brain has already developed to its full capacity. You have run your life without trouble for 54 years or 52 years. And then at the 52nd year, you start doing this stuff. That is not a mistake. That is an intentional way that you decided to turn your life to. Why? What happened? What made you go this way?
You know, Your Honor, one case I was just around a woman that I liked. That's what happened the first time. Second time, giving a person a ride that couldn't drive. I drove his van.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Mr. Seguirre. I'm going to, on my own, change the agreement, but it's going to be in a positive way to give you the benefit of the doubt. Instead of sentencing you to 2 years, convicting you of this, I'm going to defer that, give you deferred probation in cause number 2021 DCR 2136 for the amount of 3 years. I want to believe, Mr. Zaguirre, that you're better than than this. That you're a lot better than this. That you have, unfortunately, gotten yourself in a situation where you thought that this was appropriate, and you know now, as an adult, that it's totally not. I don't know, you may be a rich man, you might have money to throw around, but this has cost you money and time. At the very minimum, and it's going to continue to cost you money. Do you have, and I want you to be honest with me, do you have a drug problem?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right, then I thank you for being honest with me, because if that's the only way I can try to help you while you're on probation.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So here's the deal. I'm giving you a short time of probation, 3 years, deferred, meaning you're not convicted of it. If you successfully complete it, this will be like dismissing the case against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The flip side of that, Mr. Zaguirre, is if you don't comply with my conditions of probation, then I will have the whole range of punishment up to 10 years in the penitentiary. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That'll be the order of the court in cause number 2021 DCR 2136. Court hereby sentences Mr. Juan Daniel Izaguirre to 3 years deferred adjudication in that case. In cause number 2021 DCR 5047, the court hereby sentences Mr. Izaguirre to one year deferred adjudication, both deferred adjudications to be served concurrently, one probation fee. Under the following other conditions, Mr. Zaguirre, I am giving you, after we get off of Zoom, your attorney is going to explain to you what I just did. And I want you to think this, I want you to take this into consideration. I did it to give you the benefit of the doubt on this excursion. You're 54 years old. You don't need to be involved in the court system. Not now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I hope that you take advantage of my good faith.
Thank you very much.
If you don't, and if you come back to me again, you will give me no choice but to incarcerate you and put you in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. The very first condition I'm going to give you, in addition to what I just told you, is that you are not to be arrested ever again while you're on probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not talking about traffic tickets. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you being arrested. If another pair of handcuffs hits those wrists of yours, you have violated my conditions of probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. In addition to that, Mr. Cortez.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Morning.
Alcohol and drug evaluation,
Yes.
GED, high school diploma,
No.
maintain gainful employment,
Yes.
random UAs,
Yes.
and the 15-hour drug offender education program.
That's required. Now, here's where I also want to put notation. Once he's done the evaluation of the alcohol, drug, if he is screened and that screening shows him to be in need of counseling or whatever, I want you to refer him to. Make sure
Refer to counseling.
make sure that we try to help him with as best we can with the resources we have for any addiction he may have.
So, sounds good, Your Honor. May I have a phone number for him?
Mr. Zaguirre, I want you to give me a phone number where we're gonna be able to get in touch with you 24/7.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is it? What is it?
956-747-2889.
2889?
Yes,
One more question, Your Honor. Did you say, just to be sure, one probation fee for both?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. I'll give him 180 days to pay the court cost. All right. Anything else, Mr. Ortega?
No, Judge, can my client be excused?
Yes. Have a good day. Thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right. What is Ms. Sakarai's background?
I'll just wait.
Judge, I see one prior DWI misdemeanor, and that's all.
All right. Okay, the court will abide by the plea agreement in this case. Mr. Zacharias, I will sentence you to 90 days confinement in county jail, and I'll give you credit for time served under 1244B. I don't know what that means.
Judge, the agreement is that it'll be reduced to a misdemeanor. She opted to do jail time. Given the spread of COVID, we've gone down on the number,
Well, I have here 90 days, or did I misread this? 90 days county jail, credit for time served.
That is correct, Judge.
Well, that's what I gave her.
Yes.
And is that correct, Mr. Ortega?
It is correct, Judge. That's what she wanted.
Is that correct, Ms. Zacharias?
Yes, sir.
All right, when do you want to report to county jail?
Well, I mean, I thought I was having another court date on the 7th. It really doesn't matter what day I have to go in. I mean, as soon as possible would be best.
I don't know
If I
about
can
that.
go in on the 7th of February, that'd be fine.
Why can't
Unless
you
you want me to
go?
go with you.
Yeah, well, why don't we just get it over with? I'll give you to Monday to report. You clean up all
That's what
whatever you have to do, make arrangements, and you report on Monday without failure. Otherwise, we'll be looking for you, okay?
Okay, and where am I reporting? Am I reporting to the court or am I going to a specific?
Oh, Mr. Ortega, and you need to handle those logistics for me. Mr. Ortega will confer with you and tell you where you need to go.
Okay.
Right, Mr. Ortega?
Yes, Judge.
Just reach out to Mr. Ortega and he'll tell you when to go, but I'll see you there. You got to report by Monday, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez?
May I have my client to be excused, Judge?
Yes. What is Mr. Martinez's background?
Judge, I see a resisting transport misdemeanor. That's the only history I see.
What happened in this case?
Judge, this is an evading arrest detention with the motor vehicle. Pull up my notes real quickly. The defendant has no felony history, hence why the state was offering deferred, but failed to stop at a designated point. They tried to pull him over, changed lanes, and did not stop when they tried to pull him over. He made a turn, accelerated, trying to get away. And at some point, he turned into a residence and was walking fast in the house. Police stopped him and detained him. It smelled as if he had been drinking.
Oh. The old I'm close to the house scenario, huh?
That is correct, Your Honor. Almost.
All right, the court hereby will abide by the plea agreement in cause number 2021 DCR 901, set up resources. Ruben Martinez. The court hereby will abide by the agreement and hereby sentences Mr. Martinez to 3 years deferred adjudication as reflected in the plea agreement under the following conditions. Mr. Martinez, you have heard my statements made to Mr. Izaguirre earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
I want to hope that, how old are you, Mr. Martinez?
43.
Are you employed?
I'm going on disabled.
So you're not a man of many means, a lot of means, are you?
Excuse me?
You're not a rich man, are you?
Oh, no, sir. No.
You live on your disability check, right?
Whoa, I'm trying to.
So why do you need stuff like this?
Yeah, I know, sir, I made a mistake, for no reason. I just went to my mom's house and then they got me for evading arrest. I didn't know. My first time getting in trouble. Yeah, and I was regrettable. It's too late.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna go along with that. I gave you 3 years deferred. If you complete at least 2.5 years of that, 2 years of that, I'll let you go for the remainder. But you need to show me good faith that you're going to abide by the conditions of probation as I'm gonna give it to you, okay? I don't wanna see you back here.
Yes, sir.
This is not a place for you, especially with your disability, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna drink, it's not against drinking. It's just stay home.
Well, I don't drink. I don't drink no more. I don't drink no more.
Yeah, don't get in the car. Don't do anything like that, because that is, I don't know why, but people just continue to do that. I don't understand. With so many things that can help people to get, so many other ways available to you to get you home,
Yes, sir.
either through a relative, a friend, or Lyft, or taxi, or Uber, or something.
Yeah.
Just all kinds of different options.
No.
But you don't think about it when you're drinking because you're living in the moment. And I think we all have been guilty of that. Mr. Mazo and I have, I know, right, Mr. Mazo?
Yes, Your Honor.
But we've recognized the error of our ways before we ended up in jail too, right?
Yes, sir.
It's tough, I'm telling you. But you gotta be smart about this. I don't want to see you back here, okay, Mr. Martinez?
Yes,
Don't
sir.
come back.
No.
So you're not to be arrested ever again while you're on probation with me. Please do not be arrested, because you know what? It doesn't matter to me whether you're guilty or not of whatever you're arrested for. The mere fact that you've been arrested is enough to send you to prison. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
All right. What else, Mr. Cortez?
Alcohol and drug assessment?
An assessment, yes.
I already did that.
Community service hours?
No,
Random UAs?
no.
Breathalyzer?
Are the random UAs and the breathalyzer, are they additional costs?
Yes, Your Honor, that would be.
Leave it to the court's discretion on this matter, Judge. I don't see a pending DWI. I don't know if the defendant has alcohol.
I'm gonna go with my instincts. I'm gonna trust that he's not gonna be drinking while on probation or violating the law again that way. So no.
And well, I mean, he gets the disability, right? So I would skip the maintain gainful employment.
Well, yeah, because
Correct.
he's disabled.
Okay, GED, high school diploma,
No.
that would be out for us here at this. I just need a phone number for him.
Yeah, and the fees, well, I'll reduce his fees to $40 a month.
40, okay. 40. Your phone number. Oh, it's 956-577-5835.
Thank you.
Is that it, Mr.